the blood of the Lamb? Are you fully trusting in His grace this hour? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are you washed in the blood, in the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are you walking daily by the Savior's side? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Do you rest each moment in the crucified? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are you washed in the blood, in the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Last verse. Lay aside the garments that are stained with sin and be washed in the blood of the Lamb. There's a fountain flowing for the soul unclean. Oh, be washed in the blood of the Lamb. Are you washed in the blood, in the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Thank you. Have a seat. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Does anybody have a spoken prayer request? Okay. In the hospital now? Yeah. Go see him tomorrow night. Okay. You call me tomorrow, 5 o'clock, and we'll go up and see. Not he. First, you know he's not saved, right? Okay. Jim Garnes, Jim Garnes passed Saturday. We also have a spoken request. Maybe with unspoken requests that we want to pray about, not to me. Charlie, want to lead some prayer? I'll have another request after bow for prayer and pay for Debbie Gabo. She sprained her ankle or twisted her ankle real bad, right? You don't know about this. She a week ago Sunday, so it's been like 10 days, and she hasn't gone to the doctor yet. Still can't walk on it real well. And then Mike said Monday night that Sunday she said I'll go to the doctor on Monday. Got up Monday morning, said I'm feeling better, we'll be okay, I'm not gonna go. And then by Monday night she couldn't walk on it again. So you know. Hey, anybody got a praise report or testimony? Something you're thankful for, you want to tell everybody about it. God's blessed you in some way. Agree? Good. Very good. I visited with her last week. I enjoyed that visit. Good. Anybody else with a praise report? you writing scriptures in? Every Bible's 1 Kings chapter 12. 1 Kings chapter 12. And Rebecca, man, leave. Mad every time I goes, open my mouth, walk out. Okay. I asked Jared and Rebecca before we left the house. I said, what I asked you, Jared, who do you listen to? Is that how I worded it? Who do you listen to? Who do you listen to? Who influences you more than anybody else? Or who would have the most influence on you? Shortly after I got saved, um, it's like as soon as I got saved, there are certain things in my life just changed drastically. The words that I spoke changed. A lot of things that I did, a lot of things that I was doing that I knew was wrong before I got saved, just instantly quit. I don't know, I didn't want to do those things anymore. It's just something different about. There's a change inside of me. Everybody around me kind of saw that change. But like about a year, maybe a year after I got saved, bow season, so it would have been October. It was 14 months after we got saved. I was with some friends of mine, and just because they were my friends before I got saved, we were going bow hunting, and subject came up, and I thought it's not going to bother anybody if I do something or say something. But then afterwards, I thought about it, and I thought just because they were my friends the whole time I was growing up, good friends the whole time I was growing up, we all got in trouble a lot. We played ball every day, but we had fun, but we got in trouble a lot in teenage years. And I thought after I did something I shouldn't have done, I thought, man, that was bad testimony. I shouldn't have listened to my friends, even though they were my friends. You understand what I'm saying? Like I wasn't bad. I wasn't doing something immoral, but I just did something I should have done. I thought I won't do that again, even though my friends want me to do something I shouldn't do, or it seems okay to them. I can go ahead and do it. Right? It's like everyone else is doing it, then you can go ahead and do it, but not everyone else is doing it. Okay? So I'll tell you about a story. I asked Jared and Rebecca before we left the house, who do you listen to? Nikki, who do you listen to more than anybody else? Who has the biggest influence on you as to whether you have to make a decision? Who would you ask? If you had to make a decision, who would you ask? Okay? Miss Joe, who would you ask? Who has the biggest influence on if you had to make a decision on doing something? Okay. Right. Okay. You're not going to You're not going to put your soul in danger now. You trust Christ anyway. Okay. Is there somebody more than anybody else that you'd say, I don't know what to do? Who would I ask? Who was that person? Rob? Tammy? Who would it be? Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure. When Faber said probably Rob, two incidents came to my mind instantly. You asked him about child rearing. Um, I was at their house one time, so a few years back, and Rob and I were working. He was working on my truck. We were trying to figure out something, doing the work, and I can't remember which one it was. David, which one's under? It was David. He was just little. When they first moved out the farm, he was just little, and he was outside running around, probably less than 2 years old, and I got his head back up from under the truck, and he said, "Where's David?" So he's over there. He's got the cat by his back legs. Oh, he said. He laughed. He said, "It's not running. I guess it wasn't running fast enough." so Trevor always turns to Rob about child rearing. How do we do? Well, you can catch the cat. He's doing all right. He's 2 years old, or we were. Hey, Jared, who's your go-to person when you got a question? Secret. Becca, who's your go-to person? Okay, Marie. Yes, David. Yes, David for advice. Charlie, who's your go-to person in life? You got a question with? Okay, most of us is, but except for Nikki. The only thing she asked Danny is what you want for supper. She don't ask him anything. Alan, is there one person in life that you always thought I have a question when someone asks you something, you got to make a big decision. Who do you go to? Who would that person be? Right. Okay. But it was quirky, wasn't it? For the last 25 years, whatever the number. Right. Okay. People make decisions. A lot of times, our decisions are based on what other people say. Right? Because someone said something, else said something that way. Most often, we vote during elections. We vote because of what we heard either in commercials or what one of our friends said. I heard this statement 30 years ago. Be the same person 10 years from now that you are today, except for the books you read and the people you meet. Right? So the people that you meet or the people you run with will influence you. He that hath friends must show himself friendly. There's all kinds of scriptures that go along with that. Um, Either walk with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. Can you? I need to turn my microphone on. Is it on? Okay, I can tell. Okay. Okay. 1 Kings chapter 12. We're not going to read this yet. I just want to make sure you got there. Okay. Did I tell you to turn there? Okay. All right. We're right there. Okay. Solomon is king. Has been king for 40 years. Solomon has been told in the latter years of his life that God says, "I'm going to take the kingdom from you and will give to somebody else because of your sin. I'm going to leave a portion with Israel with your family because I promised it to David. So your son will be king. I'm going to take a large portion of the kingdom away." Last week we went through the fact with Ahijah, the priest, the prophet, talked to Jeroboam and said, tore his garment up and tore it up into 10 pieces and gave him 12 pieces, gave him 10 of the 12 pieces, and says, "You're going to be king over the 10 of the 12 tribes of Israel." Okay, so God tells us what's going to happen, and He shows us what's going to happen. Here's the story of how He transfers the kingdom from the kingdom of Solomon, the richest and wisest man in all the world, to 85% of it being gone and going to somebody else. Okay, 1 Kings chapter 12, we'll start reading verse 1. Okay, and Rehoboam, that's Solomon's son. Solomon has died, and Rehoboam is now king, just became king. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel will come to Shechem to make him king. There's a big celebration. They're going to crown him as king. Okay, his father's died. It came to pass when Jeroboam, that's not Rehoboam, this is Jeroboam, son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of King Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt. And they sent and called him, and Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came, and spake unto Rehoboam, saying, Thy father made thy yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father, and his heavy yoke which he put upon us, lighter, and we will serve thee. And he, that's Rehoboam, said unto them, Depart yet for 3 days, and come again to me. And the people departed. Stop reading right there. Okay? So Rehoboam's king. His father's been king. Wealth is abundant. The nation has been blessed. They didn't have to fight really had to fight any wars for the last 40 years. They've done really well. They have everything. But while Solomon was king, he had high taxes, okay, because he was building the military. He built a place for thousands of chariots, thousands of horses, and he built this military up. He built up cities around the edges of the ends of Jerusalem. Israel, not just the main capital city, Jerusalem. He built other cities for defense along the edges. He rebuilt the palace of Milo. He did a lot of things. He built the temple, which is the biggest thing. He built the temple. It cost a lot of money, but it wasn't really a tax that was given. It was donations that were given. It was millions of dollars brought into the treasury every year, just because people wanted to come hear Solomon. They bring money, okay, or they wanted in on this building God's temple. But his tax levies were high, okay. So when Rehoboam becomes king, just read, they go to Shechem, which is above Jerusalem, about 20 miles northern part of north of Jerusalem, and all the people, all Israel's gathered together, and they come with Rehoboam, Jeroboam leading them to Rehoboam the king, and they said, "Your father made our taxes," the term, grievous. Lives were grievous. The burden was heavy. Lift the burden. What you do? Lift the burden. Lower our taxes. We got everything. You got everything you need to raise taxes. Okay? Lower the taxes. So Rehoboam did a good thing. He went to his father's friend. His father is Solomon. All these wise men that gathered around Solomon, his counselors, his friends. He asked them what to do. Let's read this, okay? Verse 5, he said, depart yet for 3 days, and then come again to me, and the people departed. Then King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and said, how do you advise that I may answer this people? They spake unto him, saying, if thou wilt be a servant of this people this day, will serve them, and answer them, speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever. Okay? But took the counsel of the old men they had given him, consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, which stood before him. Said unto them, what counsel give ye that we may answer this people who have spoken to me, saying, make the yoke which thy father did put upon us lighter. And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, thus shalt thou speak unto this people that spake unto thee, saying, thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus saith thou unto them, my little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. Now that whereas my father delayed you with heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke, and my father will chastise you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the third day, and the king had appointed, saying, come again the third day. The king answered the people roughly, took the old men's counsel they gave him. Okay, stop. So Rehoboam is he has grown up. Look back at this. David grew up as a shepherd. Okay, before he became king, he spent 7 years living. I mean, he killed Goliath as a teenager. He did all this stuff, mighty man of valor. He spent 7 years living in caves and living in the woods, running from King Saul before he became king. And Solomon grew up kind of in the palace of David, his father. David, next generation, grew up with wealth, had it easy. So then the third generation, Rehoboam, he never saw the battle, never really had to look at the finances of the country or his household. He never had to worry about anything in his life. So he grew up in a palace, having everything. He grew up with his friends around him. So when he became king, and his people came to him and said, make our yoke lighter, lower our taxes. We already got, the nation already has everything, the government has everything we need, do something. He said, give me 3 days to think about it. So Rehoboam, the old men, his father's friends, and they said, if you'll humble yourself this day, you'll serve the people this day, they will serve you for a lifetime. You'll do this one thing. If you lower their taxes, they're asking, make the yoke lighter, they will serve you forever. That required one thing of him. It cost him any money. It's going to cost him some humility. Okay? But Rehoboam forsook the counsel. Rehoboam forsook the counsel of the old men, to his friends that were brought up with him, and asked him what to do. He said, you go to them, you tell them, my little finger is going to be thicker than my father's loins. My father whipped you with whips or chains, and will whip you with scorpions. It's going to be worse and worse and worse. He did exactly what his friends told him to do. Stupid. Sounds stupid. It's like a 14-year-old girl going to another 14-year-old girl and say, what should I do? Okay? They don't know nothing. Sorry, ladies that were at one time were 14 years old. You didn't know anything. Okay? It's like a 15-year-old guy asking his other 15-year-old friend how to drive. Okay? Oh, Jared said, when I was 15, I knew how to drive. Okay? I knew how to drive too, legally. But I knew it. But said, oh yeah, hey, like famous last words, hey, y'all watch this, okay? Okay. Most often, we don't follow the counsel of the old men or forsake the counsel of the old men, young friends. Okay? When I was a kid, I noticed something about my dad. I like being around my dad. I like being around my dad more than my brother liked me. But I felt like I respected my dad more than my brother did.
or some other people did. And I like being around my dad's friends. Okay. They fought wars. They grew up in poverty. They built businesses. Some of them were successful in business. Some of them just worked real hard every day. But they were fun to be around. Okay. Think about this. Rebecca never really got to know Dad's friends, but she got to know Dad's brother-in-laws, Uncle Ed and Uncle Bill, and all these people. So some family got to be around. I just loved being around these guys because they were just Charlie. They were fun to be around. Okay. And when I was a teenager, if you'd have asked me who I was going to ask for advice, it would have been my next door neighbor, Steve. Okay. Which turned out okay. He was a pharmacist or whatever, did all right in life. But, if I was 15 asking the 16 or 17-year-old what to do, it would have been a dumb thing to do. Or if I'd have gone 2 doors up to Ricky's house, and Ricky was 5 years older than me. If I was 14, he was 19. And wisdom was not his middle name, we'll put it that way. If I'd have gone up to Ricky's house and asked him what to do, it probably would have been, he would have given me bad advice. Or if I went down the street to Stan was 5 years older than me. That's a lot older. If you're 14, somebody else is 19, seems like they're a lot older. But he's serving life sentence in prison right now. He'll never get out. So he would not have been the person to go to ask for really serious questions about what to do with life. Matter of fact, all these people I just mentioned, I went and talked to them, as I got to say, when I was 17. I liked listening to the older people. Tim and I were 17 years old, and there's a guy in our church, Jim Pearson. I kind of liked the guy. I think he was in his 70s at the time. Is that right, Tam? Is that right? Because he was Debbie's dad. Debbie was old. Who David worked with. So he's probably in his 70s. Debbie was probably in her 40s at the time when we were 17. So old 40s seemed old at the time. And so Jim would have been in his 70s. I like being around these people. Okay? I didn't really go to them for advice. I went to listen to the preacher all the time for advice, listen to sermons, whatever. Rehoboam forsook the counsel of the own. Listen to his friend. Lost roughly 85%. It's a chunk. He went back out the next day, and all the people, when he said that, they all turned away, walked away from him. And Jeroboam's leading them, and they said, Rehoboam's not going to be our king. He's not going to tell us what to do. And he's not going to raise our taxes. We're not going to do a thing he tells us to do. So the next day, Rehoboam sends his tax collector out to tell all these people how much they owe, and they killed him. Okay? Bad idea. Raising the tax was a bad idea. It's kind of right there in front of everybody. They just killed him. Kind of remind me of stories. One Christopher Columbus. Who sailed around South Florida? Ponce de Leon. Who was? Who was it sailed around the south part of Florida? Anybody remember? Ponce de Leon. I remember reading that they got down to South America, and they saw all these ladies started coming out on the beach. Okay, there's no men there, so they stuck a young sailor on a little rowboat. He rowed over there to see who these people were, and they saw all these ladies kind of looking at this man like they'd never seen a man before. Ooh, look at his muscles and stuff, and he was kind of liking this stuff. Then one of these ladies put up a club and hit him in the head, and they ate him. I think, ooh, okay, lift anchor, we're going somewhere else. Yeah. Oh, goodness. He said, Rehoboam sends the tax collector out in front of everybody. Just kill him. Okay? Not a good idea. Okay, now. When I ask who you listen to, most of us are at an age now that our friends are wisdom. Right? It's not like everybody's going to turn to Stephen and say, what do you think we should do? Okay? Put something together. Hey, follow the instructions, Mom. Verse 15 says, read one more verse, get back to part of this. Wherefore the king hearkened unto the people, for the cause was from the Lord, that he might perform his saying, which the Lord spake in the Shilonite, Jeroboam and his son Nebat. Okay, God had all this planned out. He knew exactly what was going to happen. God did not force Jeroboam to make, or Rehoboam to make the decision to listen to his friends. He just allowed him to do it. Okay? Someone asked me about predestination. You think, if you got two people, one's over here, this one's shorter, this one over here, and this one's over here, do you think God determines whether this person's going to heaven, this person goes to hell? God decide that, or do we decide that? It's called predestination or predetermined. Hyper-Calvinism is a term for the doctrine. There's a lot of people that believe that God has chosen this person to go to hell and that person to go to heaven, or vice versa. They have no choice in it. Okay? No, God doesn't do that. All who sin come short of the glory of God. God tells us that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. He gives every one of us opportunities to get saved, and every one of us He gives us opportunity to serve Him, have wisdom. He puts wisdom out there. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God to give it to all men liberally and upbraideth not. So He'll give you anything you ask for. Ask for the right things. Okay? Now, He allows things to happen where we choose. Our choices. He knows what choice we're going to make. He knew what Rehoboam was. He knew that Rehoboam's snotty nosed brat friends say, "But then tell you, my little fingers be thicker than my father's loins, and I'm gonna raise your taxes, and you're gonna do what I say." Okay, that's what's called leadership. Stupidity. Okay, God knows exactly what's going to happen, but He lets us make our choices. Okay, so people die in car wrecks. People die of drug overdose. People die for whatever reason. There are businesses that succeed. There are businesses that fail. There are homes that are pleasant. There are homes that are miserable. I worked with a guy yesterday. We worked together for about 12 hours. He's told me part of his story before, where he grew up in this house that he makes it sound like his parents were just miserable people. Okay, really hard on the kids, like they hated the kids. And he said, "Mom took us to church just so she Mom took us to church just to give her another reason to beat us." Okay, because she would take out her frustration on me. I made this decision when I was a kid that I was never going to live in poverty, and he hasn't since. I'm thinking is, did God determine that kid was going to grow up in poverty? Or did his parents determine? Was it God? Did God know foreknowledge? Yeah. Did God determine that little boy was going to grow up with nothing, or did the parents determine? I think God gave opportunities to the parents to have a nice life for the kids, and they chose to. Okay, much food in Proverbs, much food in the tillage of the poor was lost for want of knowledge or want of wisdom. That means a lot of people grow great crops, but they don't know how to harvest them. South Africa, for 60 years, South Africa was run. The farms of South Africa were run by people that the plantation owners. They really just hired the locals to work their farms, and they were very prosperous. Everybody worked. Okay, they provided the food for the whole nation. The government went back about 20 years ago. A movie called Faith Like Potatoes. You can watch the movie. It kind of tells you part of the story. They went back to the people that bought the equipment, cleared the land, raised the gardens, raised the farms, and had all this business. And they went back to these people. The government said, "We're going to take those farms away from you, give it back to the native people that owned it before you." And people started starving all around them, okay, because they didn't know how to. They knew how to operate the equipment. They didn't know how to run the business. Y'all make sense of that? Y'all know this. Some of y'all know this story. Does God allow that to happen, or does God make that happen? God allows it by the choices that we make. Okay. I'm not broke most of the time. Okay, I work every day. I work a lot. We don't have a lot of money, but we have money. We have money in my pocket. Yesterday, me and this other guy walked into a hardware store in Elkins, West Virginia. About like Powell Hardware. Everyone here's Powell Hardware before. Walked in this hardware store. All we did, we lost a package, lost some screws. We're putting the furniture together. We lost our screws. We didn't have a stud finder because we couldn't mount something on the wall. We went to this little hardware store to buy a stud finder and some 4-inch screws. Guy goes over, rings it all up for us. Got wall it out. We don't take plastic. Really. Holler. I have a company credit card. The American Express. I can spend as much as I want. There's no limit on how much I can spend off that card when I'm working. But it's no limit to that card. You know, it's a gold card. Okay? I got that gold card. Doesn't matter. Okay? I got my Visa card, my personal Visa card. It's $23. I'll pay for this. You can't pay for it with that. We don't take plastic. We don't take checks. We don't take plastic. We only take cash here. So that guy had to go out to ATM machine. Okay. We wouldn't have been able to finish the job if the other guy didn't get to go to the ATM machine. Simply because I wasn't prepared. Okay? I wasn't prepared to go in the hardware store and buy something. A lot of times we get situations in life because we're not really prepared for it. God says, I can lay out the plan. I can tell you what happened. I can lay it all out for you, tell you the end result. It's up to you to make the right choice. It's up to you to go to the right people and make your decisions. It's up to you. I'll give you either walk with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. I'll give you wise people to go to, say, what should I do? Go to them to get the answer. Forsake the wise people, in this case, the older people. Forsake the old people, you want to do some things in life. Questions on that? When we get troubles in life, why will we blame God? You ever blame God for something? No. Oh, you ever blame God? Why'd you allow this to happen? Okay? Okay, he didn't allow it to happen. Really. Let's make our choices on the line. Okay? Why do we get to this point? You want to blame somebody. You always blame Danny. that's the first check box I check. Okay, but sometimes we want to blame God, and God said, wait, I gave you opportunity back here. Okay? See that. People file bankruptcy. A lot of times, if they look back, they can say, if I'd have done this different back here, I wouldn't be bankrupt. Businesses do. Our business. Governments do. Certain people in our government would get their way with running the government. Okay, next year, Social Security, I don't want to scare anybody because your check's still going to be there. Next year, Social Security money going out of Social Security is going to be more than the money going into Social Security. You know, like it's a big pot. So much money goes in every year and so much money goes out. Next year is the first year that there will be more money going out than what is going in. Doesn't mean that those of us who receive Social Security checks aren't going to get our checks, but the government's got to do something, knowing now that if they don't do something now about it, then 20 years from now, when I want to retire, they will say, I'm glad you paid in for this for 45 years. Now you don't get a dime back. I've been paying in Social Security since I was 15 years old. And now you won't get a dime back because broke. Okay? Who's laughing? Who thinks that's funny? Y'all think that's funny? The big government people will fix it, right? Fix it all, fix everything. Most of life is really based on principles, words, or whether we do what we're supposed to choose the outcome. I think we choose the outcomes like Rehoboam chose the outcome. Could have listened to the old men, would have retained the kingdom. But God told other people, told Jeroboam what was going to happen before it happened. Could have listened and would have kept the kingdom, but we could have too. Sometimes we go through something. I hadn't gone through this. You hadn't gone that. made that turn. Illustration. Most of you know Alex Shamlin. Came here all the time. He was telling me one day when we were working on the air conditioning here last summer that he used his GPS. I think it was on his wedding anniversary. Putting a furnace in somebody's house or air conditioning house, Clay County or wherever it was at, Rome County. He used his GPS to find way back to Charleston. Okay, from that farm he was on. Okay, so he started down this road. GPS said he'd go on the road he's on and keep going down this road, and it'll come out like in Clendenin or someplace like that. If he goes down this road, so he started down that road. He said the road was, it was a paved road, turned to a gravel road, turned to a dirt road. But he's been on dirt roads before. He's in a company van, heating air conditioning van, and then it turned to a path, 4-wheeler path, and then before you knew it, there's no way to back out. Couldn't go back up the hill. It's like 10 miles from nowhere. And for him to tell us, if you know him well enough to hear him tell any story, I mean, he could tell a story about buying a pop somewhere. It's funny to him tell a story. But it turned to a 4-wheeler path, and guess what you don't have when you're there? Service. They call somebody. So on his anniversary, he's supposed to be I think it's his anniversary, his wife's birthday once. He's supposed to be taken out to dinner. There he was, hours away. 3 hours of walking back uphill to get to where he did service to call somebody to come tow him out to get him out of the place that he was in. Okay? At some point, he thought, man, I should have turned around. And he got to a point where he couldn't turn the van around. So just keep going. It's got to come out somewhere, right? I've been on those roads before that does come out somewhere if you can keep going. But sometimes you get someplace, cattle gate or something like that, or a power company gate, and you can't go any further. He's one of those, you think, should turn around back. Should have gone. Hey, often God says, choice. That's the right person. You ask wise people, they'll get the right answer. You ask foolish people, sound right at the time, like we're very bones. It's going to sound great. Yeah, that's right. You be in charge. You take charge of these people. We were loading the bull at the farm in Ripley one time. The little pen, little small, 20-foot by 20-foot pen. I had a sheet of plywood. We're going to get this David's 2,000-pound bull, go down the chute. He won't go down the chute, so I'm going to take this sheet of plywood and move him over a little bit at a time, while someone's behind him trying to get him to go towards the chute. But Marie knows what's happening. All the stories are the same, just a different location, right? And he got right to where he's supposed to go down the chute. I said, "This is great, man. This is great." Charlie, that thing, 2,000-pound bull, turned and decided he wasn't going to go down that chute. He was going to go this way. The only thing between him and this way is me and that sheet of plywood. He came right over top of me and the plywood. I'm glad his hoof didn't make an impression on my face. It broke the plywood, knocked me over backwards, and broke the plywood as he climbed across me. I was like, "Oh man, guess that was a wrong idea." David thought it would work. It was fun. That's right. That's why he was down at the gate saying, "Hey, Kelly, I'll phone they feed the trailer and send him come down." Who do you listen to? Speak more foolish. The end result is already determined really by our decisions. God already knows what's going on. Our decisions lead us that way. Our choice. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for the truth you've given us. I pray you'll guide us and you give us wisdom in everything we make. Give us wisdom in our cabinet of counselors who we go to for the right thing. Thankful for the people you placed in our life, godly people, Christian people, but wise people that have given us good advice for the last 40 years. Turn to them, listen to them. We're sorry for the times we didn't listen. We should have. I pray you'll use us for your glory. Help us to learn to be those wise people. People come not the people like the friends of Rehoboam that said, "You help us to do you want." It's wisdom, please. Dismissed. Oh, wait. We're going to take up an offering, don't we? Amy, did we take up an offering? Did you bring a check? Anybody need to take up an offering? Going once, going twice. I have to forget about half time. Okay, okay, dismissed. Okay, let's take it back. Okay. Thanks for coming out tonight. I had a heart problem. Hospital, let him go Monday. Surgery again, maybe. But he died Monday night. Yes, David.